Folks, we are live. Welcome to Gamers Health. I don't know if you can see the fact that we have a cat in front of us
Cat in the middle of the screen.
who's kind of lonely because she was left alone this afternoon as we were at my sister's for
She's not
Chris.
used to being left alone for this long, so she does get anxiety.
Yes.
Hmm
So she was left
So it's
alone.
always a nice homecoming.
She was left alone for a couple of hours as we did gift exchanging. I'll turn off the banner so you can get some. Oh
You
shush!
better be nice, Missy. Do
She wants her attention on her time, my time, my attention. Give me my attention.
you're a good girl,
So that's why I'm holding my keyboard
and I
because
know you're hungry. I know you want your treat,
if I wasn't
but we'll
holding
do it after the show.
if I wasn't holding my keyboard right now,
You should be sitting on it.
she'd be sitting on it, and there'd be some weird commands being done up, and we'd be like, huh? Alexa, set Rachel's lights to 50%. There we go. It's a little bit better balance. So, this is Christmas Eve. We spent it with the early Eve, uh, with my parents, with my sister, her husband, our niece Shannon. We exchanged gifts, had dinner, had a very
Mhm.
nice, relaxing time. Then came back and exchanged gifts with my parents because really, what's the point to grabbing all these gifts to bring gifts back? We would never fit it all in the car.
Oh, you mean to exchange everything
To
over
exchange
there?
everything
No,
over
no,
there would
no,
have
no,
been
no. You can't do that.
okay. The cat's gotten her attention now. She can step away to the side and be like, leave me alone
No,
now.
she's on the radiator. She's happy.
So, actually, earlier in the month, Rich and I had discussed, and I had been like, well, Christmas Eve, should we really do a Gamer's Health? And Rich like, it's important that we do it, even if it's only for
Mhm.
half an hour,
Yeah.
even if it's 2 hours later than usual. It's important to share this time with the community, with our community. And Rach is right. And I will say this: we celebrated Christmas Eve earlier than we have over the last couple of years. Once because Rach was still working until last year, and I think last year we still did it late because everybody was used to doing it late.
Yeah. And I
And
don't know. Maybe Chris worked
I think,
until a
oh yeah,
certain
yeah Chris,
because
my brother-in-law, he
he's
works.
working.
He's a sales rep for beer and
A
alcohol.
distributor.
So,
Yeah.
holidays are just basically more sales days.
Hmm
So, but this fell on a weekend. But I was like, let's do this earlier because last year, I don't know how it is out by you, but again,
We live in a very densely populated square mile
yeah,
of Queens,
of
and so
one and two family homes, but parking is a premium because
yeah.
most two family homes probably have three cars because one family has one and one family will have two. So, and each house has about a spot and a half of street parking, so it becomes parking is at a premium. And last Christmas Eve, I think I circled the neighborhood for 35 minutes
Yeah.
before finding a parking spot 5 blocks away. And then nearly getting run down by somebody who thought they found a parking spot that was actually a fire hydrant.
She
So
was like, I don't care. It's a spot. I don't
yeah,
care if someone's in it.
walking through it, I'm going to put my car into it because somebody else may take it. So yeah,
No, you can't stand in that parking spot.
now something that we hadn't done until tonight, which we usually do with my parents much earlier in a month. It's usually around my mother's birthday. My mother's birthday was
Well,
last
we
week.
couldn't do it because she was sick on her birthday.
Right, she was sick, and uh, we couldn't go out and view the Christmas lights. We have a couple of neighborhoods in our area
Yeah, Howard
that are
Beach is one of them that we've traditionally gone to look at all the Christmas lights and like for blocks and blocks and blocks of very elaborate Christmas decorations. So
right.
that's always a fun thing to do during the month of December. And, you know, last year we did it, but we didn't do it down in Howard Beach. We did it in oh my gosh. A neighborhood very close to where we live.
Middle Village, actually.
Oh, you feel comfortable to say?
I'm okay saying that.
Okay.
Why shouldn't I be, right?
Oh, yeah, we were doxxed that time.
We've been doxxed multiple times by the same jackass and their friends. So, but the area around Juniper Valley Park has some houses that are
Really
1
beautiful.
and 2 family homes where the people put a lot of effort into making their homes look beautiful during the holidays. So Howard Beach is a longer drive. We'll do that if we're doing dinner out there, and then we'll drive the area up and down the blocks. There are also wider blocks when it comes to traffic. So if you're driving slow, you can usually pull to the side and have somebody pass you, as opposed to Middle Village, where if you are driving down these blocks and somebody's behind you and you're enjoying the lights, you better hope and pray they're enjoying the lights too, or else you're basically being the asshole that's making them go slow. So it's just things to keep in mind. But the
Christmas light etiquette.
Yeah. So because my mother had COVID, my father came down with COVID last weekend. He tested positive, tested negative yesterday. So we're all like, woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, my mother and my sister were like, usually Rich and I, we cater the major holidays: Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. We cater it. We get food from the family. This way, it's a low stress, low prep.
Nobody has to be chained to the stove.
Right. But because it's a monetary investment, right, they were both like, listen, the suggestion was just get a frozen lasagna from the supermarket and some garlic.
And we said, no, we're not getting some frozen lasagna.
Yeah.
Then everybody was complaining it's too peppery.
Or too salty. Like I'll say it's too salty.
Or salty.
I'll say it's too salty because I don't put a lot of added salt into my diet. Congestive heart failure. I make a conscious effort of that. Like
we don't cook with it at all.
We don't cook with it. Listen, if you get like McDonald's via your Uber app, you have an option of getting no salt on your burgers. I didn't know that until I was like, oh, there's a no salt option.
And your fries too.
Yeah. So these are things that,
and they taste better without it.
Yeah. So
not to say that it's like, oh, now they're healthy fries.
No, it's a healthier choice. Everything.
It's lessening the harm.
So, listen. I've been pretty good. We haven't heard my my phone go off from my glucose meter for high results in a while. I knew it was going to go off today on the ride home. How did I know it was going to go off? Well, let's see. I snacked on pigs in a blanket. I had pizza for dinner, 2 slices. Well, a slice and a half. I couldn't finish the second slice. With the Manjaro, my appetite, I feel really hungry. Eat some food, and I can only eat so much without getting nauseous. But then dessert was what kind of pie was that?
It was some kind of chocolate cream pie.
Chocolate cream pie. It was delicious. Chocolate ice cream. I was like, I'm making a sacrifice. I know we're going to hear it. And I look right back.
Yeah.
It went off. And I was like, what the heck is that? I go, it's high blood sugar. So you kind of go through with it. Hiatus. Merry Christmas to you too, man. Again, this is why we do this. Listen, I know people are doing stuff tonight and they can watch this later. Gerard, Merry Christmas. This is as much for us as it is for you, because when we make this connection with the gaming community, we share our foibles, we share our trials, our tribulations, our successes, our failures, little tidbits of what's going on. And hey, we're making baked ziti from scratch because we weren't going to do the lasagna because I'm not going to do lasagna.
We weren't going to get the packaged crab.
Yeah. So, and listen, it's a busy weekend for us because, again, we're at my sister's. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be heading out to Connecticut. To see Rachel's side of the family, which, by the way, my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece are going, and they're spending the early afternoon with his brother.
Oh, okay.
That's what's going on with that. And then they're coming out to us. So everybody's trying to squeeze.
Yeah, to get as much in as possible. So that's good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the
We've
Christmas,
always done it this way,
yes,
except for
COVID,
the COVID year when we didn't.
right? Because nobody did anything, right?
Mhm.
The COVID year,
And we came down with COVID after we saw
right?
my family last year. Not at all because of them at all,
No,
but
but
because of many other factors.
2020, the gift giving for like my mother's and my sisters and my niece's birthdays was the front lawn of my sister's house with chairs in December giving gifts back and forth. And then my sister, her husband, and our niece all testing for COVID like a day before, coming out to see us, and actually seeing them on Christmas. And that was just so, I don't know, emotional because you hadn't been able to spend time with these people that are such a major part of your family. So, listen, the best compliment I think I can ever recall getting from our niece Shannon was at this Christmas when she opened up her first gift, which was probably one of the least expensive gifts I got. Shannon, I hope you're not watching, but that was one of the least. The headset that had an inner ear plus a little bit of a loop because she was complaining that her headset's always full of her ear. She can't.
Yeah,
use it
earbuds don't work for her.
Yeah. Brian, so far we're having a great holiday. It's been really it's been good, and it's going to be busy. But Shannon had complained about it, and I saw a deal on Woot.com. If you haven't checked out Woot and you're a techie, be afraid. New deals every day. They start at 1 a.m. and they had a Skull Candy headset for $9.99, Bluetooth. Decent ratings. I actually got two. I got one for me, got one for Shannon. Shannon opened it up. Her mouth open. She unwrapped the package. Her mouth opened. She looked at me and she went, "Uncle, you really listen?" I go, "Maybe." And then she looked at, and then she started opening. She's like, "Auntie, you really know me?" Like, because we know our niece, and we get her stuff that not that she wants, but she wants and she needs. We fill that spot, and you have to pay attention to
things that are important that parents or other people in the life might not fulfill.
Yep.
So,
Gerard, my family trip this year was canceled because they all got COVID. We were on that cusp. That's why we were testing. That's why we tested my parents yesterday, because my mother had COVID and my father came down with COVID. And I was just like, "Oh, geez, what are we going to do?" And, thankfully COVID is not the COVID that it was 2 years ago.
Yes.
So
by the grace of God.
Gerard said he's cooking red wine spaghetti for himself tomorrow and having fun.
Nice.
And that's it. Again, you know what? I was a cop for 20 years. I worked a lot of Christmases. I worked a lot of Thanksgivings. I worked a lot of Easters. Christmas for me, I was like, and I usually work days, so I'd be like, I don't mind. My son was older. Once he got older, he was no longer believing in, the big red guy. But so Christmas mornings, I didn't need to be around. There were people with younger kids. I would work. I had no problem working the day. I could be home for dinner. Dinner is where it was meant for me. That's where Christmas has been in my eyes and my mindset. So when I worked in a unit that was really generous with the holidays, and they listen. There were 8 people on my squad, and we were all rookies for the most part. Just less than 2 years on a job, and they're like, "Listen, right now, half can take off Christmas, half can take off New Year's Eve." Like, oh, all right. So, and if you don't have kids, you better be partying on New Year's Eve. The word was let the people who have young kids.
Yeah, enjoy the family life and
right.
Enjoy the holiday.
Right. And we always made it work for us.
Yeah.
James Seymour. Merry Krikakawa. You know what? You're right. There are so many holidays.
Krikwakan.
I can't do it, Rach.
Don't stickmas.
You know what? many of the major religions have holy days in the month of December. Probably goes back to the fact that it's around the solstice. You know,
Yes.
um, not that it's any secret to anybody who's done any research on Christianity or Catholicism.
Hmm.
We're both Catholic, but December 25th was set as the date for Christmas because they weren't really sure what day Christmas was. But when they were trying to bring a lot of the pagan religions in, a lot of the holy times were revolving around the solstice. So to put Christmas around the solstice made sense, and that's fine with me. I mean, honestly, I don't know how cold or hot Bethlehem was when Jesus was born, but if they were in a stable, it was probably pretty warm. I doubt it was around December, but it doesn't make a difference. This is when we celebrate it. This is when we respect it, and this is when a lot of religions have holidays or holy days. Actually, we look at the word holiday. It's based on holy day. These are days that you didn't work, that you spent reflecting on life, reflecting on God, with doing good work or good works. So I think sometimes we lose sight of that. Like when we give gifts,
Oh, the service part.
because you know, Rach and I love giving gifts.
Hmm.
I love it so much that throughout the year, when I see stuff, they go, "Hey, go, Rach, there's a deal on 13 deals." Another great website if you want to like lose your mind. There's another deal on 13 deals. I'm on a mailing list and the text message list, and I go, "Hey, do we need? I don't know, the blankets, right? These
Yeah.
great
Blankets, footies,
and chocolate bars. Oh
chocolate. Yeah.
my!" So it's like, well, we can keep the chocolate bars and we can give out the blankets. We can give out, the warm, furry socks.
Hmm.
I,
I keep calling them footies.
but I will shop now throughout the year. We have a closet that's like the prize closet. It's the gift closet. It just gets filled up.
Usually around July that starts.
Yeah, we're not even quite sure where it's going to go or who it's going to go to, but it'll go to somebody.
Oh, that makes a great gift. Stick it in the closet.
So,
and then we open it in December and decide who gets what.
And then like Rach and I,
except for like specific gifts that people want.
right?
And we usually honor those pretty well.
Pretty well. If there's a request, my mother's iPad was crapping out, so we knew that we were gonna, take care of that for her. Which I set up right before we did this live stream. Yeah, you're right. Having, and it's also good too when you go, oh, somebody's birthday is coming up. I totally forgot about their birthday. What do we got in the closet, Rach? You look through the closet and you're like, oh, James Seymour Ruger and Springfield and Taurus. Oh my! You forgot Glock and Smith and Wesson. Those happen to be my personal favorites. What I am most experienced with, but yeah, so I enjoy the gifting, and Rach and I, like Rach knows, like her birthday's in June.
Mm-hmm.
Rach, what do we call June?
It's my birthday month.
And what is December?
And Father's Day is in that month, but
yeah, I'm lucky I get a card for my son. For him it was never a big deal, but he still respects it, in his own way. So, but my niece is more Uncle Father Day, but like Christmas is like from Black Friday on. It's like, so Rach, what are we doing? Because we get gifts that are like the gift that we got each other was a treadmill, and that was
right. That was a joint
yeah.
Christmas gift.
Yeah, and that was the hey, I got Amazon gift certificates left over from my birthday in July. Let's just get them into play, And I get stuff for Rach when I go. Rach will kind of like that. I should be like, oh, what do we get for 13 deals? Oh, well, take your pick and put the rest in the gift closet. In the gift closet, because it just works out well. So, what I asked for Christmas from Rach really was the
kind of miniature guys that are painted already.
The Munster manual you
Because
know,
we just got done like sending miniatures out.
yeah. I got to send out some more to Shadow.
Oh, okay. There's more.
Oh, there's more. There's more.
There's always more.
Always more.
Aw.
So when Rachel, I didn't have a chance to exchange them. Rachel already knows what this is, and this is what Amazon gives you as a gift bag. By the way, very reusable.
That's awesome. That's a great color.
So, Merry Christmas, Rach. I know that you can use what's in here because you know you can use what's in here because we bought this on the Black Friday sales. So Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
So
should I pull it out of the bag right
pull
now?
it out of the bag right now.
Yes,
Just
sir.
reach right down into that bag. Like it's
Yeah,
like
this is class, man.
Either you are an incredible narcissist or you enjoy giving all year round to your viewers. Well, you know, OSR Christmas. This is the 10th year that I've done OSR Christmas. And the reason why OSR Christmas is as successful as it is because of the generosity of the other publishers and this gaming community and just some general.
Oh, even nicer.
Awesome
the
people.
white even matches.
Oh, look at that. Yes. So, I just, there's something about being able to give. So she has her iPad Pro 2, I think this is? Yes, the new iPad Pro. So
they're going to charge on
the actual charger space that we have. She won't have to go, Aaron,
can you charge my iPod?
Yes. Yes, I guess I can.
Did you have the charger in here?
I guess I can. So, but, you know.
This is quite nice.
Actually, for us, I think month of November actually kicks off our Christmas season because that's our anniversary.
Yes, Thanksgiving basically.
Yeah, well, even before that.
Well, because we do have our anniversary.
And you know, so it all kind of blends, and then you have Valentine's Day. Now, for Valentine's Day, we have a tradition that we are never going to stop as long as I hate Steven Singer and to the Philadelphia jewelry store, but they do a lot of mail order. They do gold dipped roses, and you know, I could get Rach a dozen roses every year, right? You get her a gold dip every year, and then after like a dozen years, she has like a dozen roses.
And I do,
you know, so
and then some,
So it becomes
so there's one of them that's on that.
You can't see it with the tree? I don't think so.
You can see it right here.
Oh yeah.
You see?
Right above my head. right
beside the angel.
Right above my head.
Thank you.
There's one to see. You're very welcome, right? Merry Christmas. And there's the other problem is that when I buy Christmas presents for Rach, they don't normally make it at Christmas. They don't, you know. James, the first part was obviously an attempt at humor. We keep tuning into your streams, part of the community and belonging to something. And
I love that.
That's certainly it. I mean,
he said, "You must really love to hear yourself talk."
I probably do.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you know, being a gamer, I was shy when I was my niece's age. I was a shy kid.
Me too.
And when I got my first real job, on the books job at Stearns Department Store here in Queens, I got hired for the electronics department. And electronics department is not just sit at a cash register and ring people up. It is make a sale. It is getting to people and conversing with them. And my manager told me 6 months after she hired me, she goes, you know, when she picked two for electronics. She got her pick of the part-time Christmas help that she planned on keeping.
Aww.
That was the other thing. And she goes, when I asked for you, she goes, you know, the personnel manager said, you really, we kind of just see him as, you know, a sales associate, not electronics. He's a little timid and shy. I know you don't believe any of that shit, but it's true. And she told me, she was like, no, she goes, I knew you were shy. I also knew that you could be assertive and that you are conversive and that you will be able to make sales on a personal level. And it was the best position for me to become a cop from, because I already knew how to deal with people.
Yes.
And customer service and dealing with angry people. How do you bring that tension down?
Right.
These are all things you have to learn to be successful.
Yeah, I
in
have
life.
to say, retail was good. Retail helped you learn a lot about how to deal with people and their nonsense. What's going on, Sadie Cat?
You can't have my milk, my water. You can't knock it down. And yes, you can get your head scratched. Oh my God, girl! You're turning.
You are doing something to the computer.
You're dimming the. Can I get my keyboard out from under you?
She's gonna get mad.
No, slammed
She's
it
guarding
down.
it. Oh.
All right, let's cap lock. Let's get rid of the dim. Thank you, girl.
Oh,
thank you so much, Sadie.
She likes to mute you.
Yeah, yep. She likes to do that too.
She does it in the other room too. I'll be like meeting up on Zoom with somebody, going, "Can you hear me? Really? Oh my gosh! Why can't they hear me?"
The goddamn
and I'm like
cat.
playing with the thing to see. Oh, did this guy mute this thing again?
Did she do that again? It's gosh darn kid.
And I was like, yeah, that was the problem again.
So
you like to do that a lot.
In any case, tomorrow we'll have a busy day.
That we will.
It'll be a beautiful day, and look at it again. We will have basically done our own catering, which is fun. And I am married to a beautiful woman who can cook, but is also very protective of the stove when she is cooking, and doesn't like it when I insist on assisting to make things easier, because she's proud of what she's doing and she wants to do it and be able to say, "I made dinner." And yes, you did. But you can have the assistance of your occasionally less than helpful husband.
Yeah, I'm protective of stuff, and I don't like getting it dirty.
Well, I get it dirty all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, tomorrow, Rach, you're going to be like, we're going to have sauce out and all that stuff.
It's going to get dirty.
It's going to get dirty. You're going to have to.
We'll keep it at a minimum because we want as much in the pan as possible.
All right.
No.
If you say so. We'll see how far it goes. James, do you have an old school version of Night Before Christmas? All right. So the versions of Night Before Christmas that are, we don't really tell it, but if Rach hears A Night Before Christmas, she hears a version that was written about 30 years ago by a housing police officer before the merge. And it is spot on amazing. It is certainly not something that I would read live or recorded. Because it is.
It doesn't need to be there for posterity.
Yeah, but it's something that's really a piece of its time and a piece of the culture. It shows, it reflects on what policing and public housing was in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yes.
Now, I got out of the academy in 97, and we had a lot of public housing in my command, and a lot of times housing was not available, so the regular sector cars, they entered housing jobs. And the first time I took an elevator that smelled like piss was in the 4-2 precinct in the South Bronx.
Oh, yeah.
Early 97. It was like, what the
4-2?
hell? 4-2 was my first command.
I didn't know they had them. I didn't know I had projects in there.
Webster.
Oh, they had the Webster project.
163 Claremont.
Oh, okay.
Washington. So we had PJs. We had a lot of PJs. One of the PJs was the we were looking for. This is bad. All right. There was like a 10-13 shots fired. We're looking for the gunman who was shooting at cops. Got a great description of him. And we're all doing the housing, and everybody's running up to the roofs. 20-story buildings, you're running up to the roof in full uniform, and then you're coming back down. And as I'm coming back down,
I never had a visit in that area.
And I'm winded. I am and I'm with an experienced officer who's also winded because I was actually in slightly better shape than he was because I just came out of the academy, and I'm winded, and this guy comes into the staircase and starts walking down with us, and I'm realizing, oh my god, this is the description. This is the guy, and he's trying to blend in. I just the clothing, everything. It was like early April. It was a cold day, cold night, and I'm going. The guy's going, what? I go, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. And then the street crime guys, we get down to the main floor. This guy walks out. Street crime sees him, puts him at gunpoint because it is the guy. He still had his gun in his waist. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, I was trying to say that's him, but I couldn't speak. I was like, shit. Well, it was him. I'm like, yeah, we'll go figure that one out. Walk down with us like 10 flights. He was going to try to walk out with the cops.
Oh, wow.
So, oh my God. Who would you name the deer after? Are we talking about like the South Bronx in the 90s? Because I can't do that.
Oh, wow.
On Menser, on Arson, this is Gerard. On Jacquins and Franzetta. On Gygax, on I'm running out of names. On Tim Kask. Jim Ward. Let's see. Who else?
The Dane.
The Dane?
Yeah. Merle on Rasmussen.
Oh, right. Yeah, Rasmussen would make a nice reindeer.
Yeah.
On Grubb, Jeff Grubb. We could make a pretty good set. Yes, Tim Kask. He'd be the grumpy reindeer. He'd be the one smoking weed and telling kids to get off his roof. John David, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thanks for keeping the hobby honest. Listen, the hobby is remarkably honest as a whole. There are some people on the outside, the exceptions that prove the truth in the end. Okay,
right. So at the end of the day, it's people that you wouldn't own as being part of this hobby.
Right. I mean,
people that want what it means to be a part of it or the monetary benefit.
Yeah.
But people that aren't worthy of holding space for others in this.
Yeah. When you look at it, listen.
Hobby. Yeah.
The biggest investigations I did before the latest one that got me got somebody heart in their britches and decided to shut me down by suing me. But we had Gil Gygax, the first that threatened to sue me and file legal action against me for something I never even said.
I know. It ain't your first rodeo.
No. So I didn't even... I hate when I try to fix my hair. And it's like a mirror effect. But Gail tried to threaten me with legal action for something that was said as a comment to one of my posts, where a commenter got something wrong. Then, of course, we had Ken Whitman, who occasionally shows up on my live streams because he's trying to.
Yeah, he's coming to Gamers Health and say hey, and Ken, wow, what's going on here? Kind of curious.
Ken is trying to be relevant again, and he wants to come on to the live stream. He wants to be a guest on the Talking Crit on Wednesday, and I don't think we can do that in good faith. Not because I don't believe Ken is trying to revitalize or reinvent or reincarnate his presence in gaming, but for what I've been looking at, what I've been seeing, his actions outside of gaming are
still a little fugazi.
Little fugazi, yeah, fugazi.
So you're not trusting the integrity of his desire to make amends, or if that's even what he's saying. It feels like sometimes when he comes on that he's trying to do that to some degree, but I don't know how far he's willing to go.
my feeling with Ken, I could be wrong, this is my personal opinion, is that whatever changes Ken is looking to make in his, or any amends Ken is looking to make, is the minimum amount that he needs to make money off of the maximum number of individuals in
so
the
it's
hobby.
Not a genuine
it's as genuine as you
desire for a match.
It could be genuine for him. It doesn't make it genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just. Then of course we have Gareth Skarka, Mr. Far West. By the way, Rach, we have 7 days left in the year.
Oh boy, is there gonna be a big update?
There's gonna be a big update. That's gonna be like, it'll be done by. It was gonna be done by the end of last year, and it was gonna be done by the end of this year. There's like 78, 80 release dates that this thing has missed. So
okay.
I'll keep on top of that.
Please don't hold your breath, sweet.
I won't.
Thank you.
Holmes, yes, we could add Holmes as a Bill Webb, Elmore, Move, or some other good names. You could have the Kenzer brothers, right?
And
the Chenaults. You know, it's a lot of
Doug
Kovacs?
Kovacs.
Well, I was about to say maybe he could be Rudolph.
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe. I'm reaching here. I apologize, folks.
He might allow it.
Actually, to tell you the truth, that's one of the things I miss about not going to Game Hole or Gen Con since COVID is.
You mean the Gary Con?
Yeah, sorry, Gary Con.
The Wisconsin ones.
Yes, sorry, not Gen. Did I say Gen Con?
You did.
All right, somebody smack me in the head, Rich.
No problem.
No, just a little bit. You're not burping a baby. Knock a little sense into me. What's the worst that can happen? Here's a little stupid bit of information that. So I'm on a lot. Going back to what this topic generally is, right? Gamers' health. I am on basically blood thinners. I am on stuff for my heart. You all know that stuff. So I frequently joke with Rach that I often spring leaks because I can just do this, and all of a sudden I got a scratch that won't, cloud up for like 4 hours, and I won't even know until I turn around and go, "Hey, who shot me?" It's like, so I kind of got that going on right there.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm almost better leaving the beard long so it catches that when it happens. How's that for some weird ass stuff?
But does the beard make it more itchy?
Yeah, a little bit. So it's kind of. I think I get
catch-22.
Yeah, I get more like dead skin, and I want to get rid of, and then it's like, oh, all right. Let me catch up. Monty's a bit late though. Monty Cook is, he comes in with 3rd edition. He was going to be the savior of 5e. Monty was going to give us the edition. The first time we were going to have an edition to rule them all. Monty promised, and if I ever meet Monty face to face, I will remind him of this promise. He promised us a game where I can take my OD&D character, my Holmes character, my AD&D 1E character, my 4E character, my 3E character, and my 5E character, have all of us sitting at the same table with all these different editions, and we can all play in the same session and all sing Kumbaya and all play these different editions at the same table, and it never happened. And when he couldn't do it, he left and he made Numenera, which is, I don't know, just an observation. Yeah, is Monty Cook OSR? He's awesome. He's not OSR. He had Patolus. I can't even pronounce it right. Patolus, whatever it is. Excellent material. It was one of the best 3rd edition, third-party releases ever. That book is huge. It's well done. I can convert on the fly to OSR if I wanted to run something within the setting. But Monty's not OSR. He doesn't need to be. You don't need to be OSR to be a good game designer. I just happen to prefer OSR because I don't need to relearn new rules. But if you can get me a game that's outside the OSR and that isn't, a storytelling game, then I'm happy. Like Simple D6 or Open D6, I happen to enjoy too. What do you guys think are the Rushmore if you had to pick 4? Gygax, Arneson, Gygax, Arneson, and then we step away a little bit and we go with oh God, if we step away, is stepping away to Tunnels and Trolls a bit too far a step? Ken St. Andre, because Ken St. Andre showed us that we could take a game like D&D and simplify it, and we could do something other than D&D. And then I would say maybe Steve Perrin with RuneQuest, and put those 4 up on it. I don't think they all have to be people that worked at TSR, because I think Frank Metzner. I think Frank is very skilled. I think much like Jerry Lewis, the French love him, or the Italians love him. I forget which it is.
I think it's usually they joke about the French.
Yeah, but I think with Frank, it's the Italians love him.
Oh,
but Frank didn't really write as much as people think he did, but he was a good partner for Gary after he came on. Same thing for Tim Kask, great partner for Gary. But I think that we wouldn't have what we have if it wasn't for Dave and Gary. And I think that we would know you could do so much more with it without people like Ken St. Andre and Steve Perrin, maybe Miller with Traveler. These are things that I think would have to be thought of before we start adding people in from early TSR days. Just found The Fight Before Christmas. It's about a dungeon lich fight. Now that's pretty cool. And see, now that's something that I could do a reading of. Maybe if I find it, maybe I'll do a reading of it tomorrow for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
A dramatic reading, but I couldn't do any of the PD ones. Gygax, Arneson, Holmes, and Move. Holmes and Move certainly made D&D more accessible. D&D as written, the original box set was not really accessible. They made it something that you could get there. Earl Otis, David Trampier. Trampier supposedly became a cab driver. I really don't know. All right, Patolis is pronounced Thoas. I wouldn't know. I hate to say it, John. Yeah, Gerard. Full respect to him. I absolutely love Numenera and the other Triforce system games. I've run Lost One of Flandor, and Triforce system has actually ran better than with 5e. I can see that. Frank was a glass onion. I don't quite know. Oh, many layers of nothing seems like something.
Wow.
All right. See, the thing with Frank is, whereas Tim Kask knows where he is, what he did, and what his accomplishments were. And his accomplishments were making Dragon Magazine into something that people really enjoyed, and he did a great job with that. And he'll tell the stories that are great stories. I think Frank is someone who has heard a lot of people heap praise on him for stuff that I'm not saying he didn't deserve some praise for, but I think it may have built him up more than it probably should have. And I believe when he had his Kickstarter, part of the issue with his Kickstarter was he had no content for it to show anybody when he launched it. Oh. And he was aiming for $250,000, and that's going to be hard to hit, especially once you got past those early days of Kickstarter where you could just promise, I don't know, a multimedia event with Far West and raise $50,000. Those days were gone because people got burned. And Frank likely felt that his name was enough to carry the project. And he had a lot of good other names on it with him. But my understanding, and I've spoken with numerous people that were attached to the project, is that nobody was going to do anything until they actually had money in hand. So you had people attached to the project that had nothing to show when the project launched because they wanted to make sure they got paid before doing work.
And that's not a wrong.
It isn't. It's just that it wasn't run well. And by the way, just so we're all honest here, I didn't speak about it at the time, but Frank is one of the people who decided to threaten me with legal action. And the threat of legal action, which I still find very entertaining. I was threatened with legal action for sharing the website that he was going to launch once he canceled the Kickstarter, where he was going to launch his new project that was only going to be shared with Kickstarter backers, but it was a website which anybody with the website could go to. And I shared it, and he threatened me with legal action. And all respect to Frank, and he did he apologized to me without naming me. It was a very nice apology, but and without naming what it was about. But it was still a nice apology. But it was about the fact that he threatened me with legal action for sharing a public website. I didn't share any passwords. Didn't share any login information. There was none. Just a public website. If you have the link, you go there. So it's part and parcel with being somebody who reports on the news and the gaming hobby. In our corner of the universe, in the OSR, in RPGs in general, you're going to have people that, even when you're just showing, it's not even showing truth or falsehood. It's just showing the news. Hey, this is where Frank Metzler is doing his new stuff at.
But there was other stuff going on that made him a little more like shell shocked.
Yeah, Frank had other issues going on.
Certain other issues that like caused him to be extra sensitive to things like that.
But that happened. But that wasn't even at that point.
Oh, okay.
That came up later.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I don't remember the time.
Yeah. No, that was later. The Eye of the Beholder incident came after that. It was just a mess.
I don't remember what it was called.
Eye of the Beholder, because that's the person he was dealing with on Dragon's Foot.
Yeah.
Well, Still Christmas is great from Frog God. The one, James Spawn's original.
James, yeah.
Spot on. Sandy Peterson. There's a lot of people who did a lot of great good for the early part of our hobby that took the game, or took the concept of a role-playing game, and took it in different directions from what Gary and Dave initially showed us. And we owe them a great debt, because you wouldn't have the OSR without visionaries like that. You wouldn't have Call of Cthulhu without visionaries like that. You wouldn't have later editions of AD&D without visionaries like that. So the community owes a large part to the community before it. How was your Jets doing the other night? Oh, thank you, James. I was mostly in Discord, because we have on Discord.
The tavern chat.
We do the tavern chat every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. Sometimes it lasts longer. Sometimes I do the stealth leave, because I start getting tired, and I always need at least a 30-minute to an hour wind down after the chat, usually with Rach and I watching some relatively interesting but mindless YouTube videos on the TV behind us. But the Jets lost, and they lost bad. They did. I should say this:
the Jets not go to the thing.
The Jets lost like the Jets tend to lose. So
they did well this year, though.
Well, they did better than before, but they still haven't figured out how to draft a quarterback that can play in New York. And look at, Geno Smith is playing out in, I think, Seattle.
Yeah, and he's doing
pretty well. He's doing okay. Because there's less pressure to perform in Seattle than there is in New York.
So. And Sam Darnold is also somewhere else and doing okay, right?
Yeah. The Giants might make it. They lost today, but they might still make it. Greg Stafford isn't strictly OSR because he created Pendragon, but his work definitely left a mark on the RPG hobby. Yeah, there's that cross spot between like I guess Vince Fourier would say, "Oh, I was never OSR. I was always OSG." OSR is for most people means Dungeons and Dragons. It's older editions. It's cognates. I guess like systems that spun off at like Gamma World and stuff is OSR. Old school gaming would be Tunnels and Trolls and RuneQuest and early Pendragon and Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that. So I just see it all. If it's something that I was playing in my college days or earlier, it's OSR. Now, some of it might be like you're going like the old Pacer games. Well, they're OSR, right? Is the Marvel superheroes face ripped style stuff OSR? Well, it was published by TSR. Does it make it OSR? It's ill defined. L. We're talking about people who from Wizards of the Coast or OSR will people remember in 10 years. Everyone will remember Mulvey, Mesner, Arnson, Gygax, and the other name will be forgotten. Who wrote Shadowrun? I think there are certain names in the OSR that will be remembered. And I think they're the names that we're going to remember because they were instrumental in doing certain things. In the OSR, you're going to remember Matt Finch. Why Matt Finch? Well, and Stuart Marshall less so, but Matt Finch and Stuart Marshall because of Osric. But then Matt Finch went on and did Swords and Wizardry. So people can look at Matt and see that you wouldn't have the OSR if you didn't have Matt. Now, not everybody in the OSR is going to be looking back historically, but if you are in the OSR and you came into it from 5e, some have, or if you are somebody who left gaming and came back to gaming like I did. I left in 97 when I graduated the police academy and I had Wednesday, Thursdays my days off. And I came back to it when I was courting Rach. So there was a huge gap. And when I came back, yeah, my AD&D books were nice, but my Castles and Crusade books were nicer. And, oh, look at this Osric. Look at this Swords and Wizardry. That is what I see as OSR. It's a presentation of the rules that is less cumbersome and easier to read, yet plays the same as the rules I played when I was younger. Greg Stafford, not gaming, but do you have a favorite Christmas holiday animated show? Ooh. Mm-hmm. Favorite Christmas holiday animated show?
I would like Rudolph.
Yeah,
At first I was afraid, because like I was afraid when I was really little. I was afraid of Santa Claus because of it. And then as I started to get a little bit older, I could understand and be like, oh, okay, I like that one.
Which is the one with I'm Mr. Heat Miser, I'm Mr. Sun.
It was a shoot off of the Rudolph ones. It was
I'm Mr. Hot Warm Christmas, I'm Mr. 101.
Yeah, I remember that. But it wasn't Rudolph, but it was like some offshoot of that. Because he was in it.
Okay.
But it was like a bigger thing.
These are the ones that I remember the most, like that and Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Yes.
Charlie Brown. Do people play Osric now? All I hear is OSC or BFRP. Remember, Osric was never written and meant to be played. It was meant to publish material for. And then people started playing it because it was just better presented than 1E. Yeah, people play it. If I run 1E, people can use Osric at the table. I'll probably use Osric at the table. It's just easier for me to DM to reference. On a gaming note, a friend local game store was ordering in a couple of boxes of War and Christmas Village miniatures for me. Nice, James. That's fun. Though with Heat Miser and his brother, it tells you Santa uses elves and gnomes. There you go. They're all. It's just another evil way of doing it. Yes, Heat Miser and his brother. That was that one gave me nightmares, and that's why it's still stuck in my head.
Yeah, those were scary. Like, and as you were little, like the abominable snowman and Rudolph, you're terrified.
And of course the original Grinch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
I didn't like that. That scared me too.
The Grinch was great because you got that great voice that was like singing all those words. I mean, did I like the Jim Carrey one? Yeah, it was okay, but the original Grinch.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Year Without a Santa Claus. Rudolph wasn't in that one. Mickey Rooney and Shelley Winters. Oh my God, yes. Oh, I'm feeling old now, Rachie. Shannon knows none of this.
No. They don't even. I think they still put Rudolph and Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
On Channel 2.
You know. Jingle was an elf. Django was a gnome. Elle, you remember this?
Yeah, that's so
Boris
weird.
Karloff. This is all people from like my parents' generation that were still doing work when my generation was forming up. The Rankin Bass stuff, man, that was just like watching The Hobbit, right? It's like, I mean, it wasn't quite like just watching The Hobbit, but I really should do an episode one time on the original Lord of the Rings cartoons, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and The Return of the King. Where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash has made us stay.
Was that animated one?
Yep. Mm-hmm. We're gonna march all day.
Yeah, that was really beautiful.
All day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left, right. My gaming group used to sing that shit in college. Oh. That's scary. And Andy Griffin was in the Frosty ones. Oh my God.
Oh. Was he?
I guess before he was Matlock.
Yeah, huh?
And after he was on the Andy Griffin show. Fred Astaire in Rudolph and Burl Ives. Burl Ives, yes.
Burl Ives, definitely.
Yep.
Silver and gold.
Silver and gold. I mean, that is just classic stuff. I just want the soundtracks to this stuff.
I'm sure we could get it on the iTunes.
On the Spotify, can't bring it up on the show though. We can't play it now because we did.
No.
And we get demonetized, and they take the 25 cents away from me for this live stream.
Oh my God! What would we do?
I couldn't even get a sip of coffee for that 25 cents. Wow. What kind of a place are we talking about here? And now we get holiday shows like Nightmare Before Christmas, Die Hard, and Violent Night. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see Violent Night.
That was the one that came out this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
that looked like it could be pretty cool.
And Nightmare Before Christmas was not.
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
No.
Well, actually, it's pretty good. But you have to.
Michelle sometimes talks about it, and she'll like say the characters will be like, "Oh." Well, tell me more about that.
If Halloween and Christmas had like an illegitimate child, that would be Nightmare Before Christmas. Mm. But I personally think at our age, it'd be a lot better if we were like doing shots to it. It's like, oh, he said, and then by the end of it, you're like, great stuff, man. Die Hard, Gerard. Die Hard is an excellent Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I guess the first one was. I guess the late.
Were they all released around Christmas each?
I don't know, but like here's my problem with movies like Die Hard. Mm-hmm. It's the same problem with Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour. The first one is good.
Oh, and then it gets formulaic.
The second one is usually
cookie cutter.
Usually, all right, not bad. The third one, you're usually going, I could have waited to see that one. And by the time the fourth one in the series is out, you're like, that should have been direct to video. I'm so glad I can watch it on streaming. And then turn it off in the middle if I really don't like it. So, I mean, was that too honest?
Not too honest, but
Right. That's why I don't mention the sequels. Okay, yeah, that's why. A lot of these things, right? How many movies? It's a rhetorical question, but how many movies has a sequel come anywhere near as good as the original? Very few.
I don't know.
Okay, and let's not count like the Avengers movies and all that stuff, because that's all stuff that was like mapped out like a decade in advance, stuff like that. Usually, you get the first. Usually, it's like, oh my god, we made so much money with this. Time to make a sequel, and don't be like Avatar and wait, I don't know, a dozen years to do it. I mean, that's kind of stupid.
After it's not relevant for many years.
Oh, the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, with a great act, defeats the Olgas and gives Santa the mantle of immortality. Frank Baum was a good author. I don't. They do. This is a book though. Jingle All the Way, was that Schwarzenegger?
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
Elf wasn't bad.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah. All right. Aliens. You're right. Alien, and then Aliens. The second movie was probably better than the first movie, but that's because they allowed it to have its own identity, right? And then you had what? Aliens Cubed. Come on, Predator. First Predator movie was good. Everything that they all kind of janked. So, all right, folks. Not to call it early, not to make you guys get upset with us, but it is after 11. Rach and I have to go to sleep a little bit earlier than our usual 1:30, 2 a.m.
Get up.
We gotta get
bagels.
We gotta get the bagels because that is the Christmas morning tradition with Rachel's side of the family. We bring the bagels, and
the New York bagels.
The New York bagels come to Connecticut. So, Rankin Bass, the Linus Shigra, the guy that whittled and tanking of the nukes, gave Santa flying reindeer one night per year. I have no idea what you're talking about, Al. I think I need to open up a bottle of wine and
I'm gonna finish off my cookie dough.
Oh, you see?
So I can go to sleep.
So we can go to sleep. So we have to be non-sober so I can be sober in the morning. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending time with us. We will, dare I say it, Rach, in a week, what do we have? We have New Year's Eve.
New Year's.
What are we gonna do for New Year's Eve? Are we gonna do this over New Year's Eve?
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Shoot, folks, in the comments section, not the live comments, the comments after this. Tell us if we should be on for New Year's Eve. Should we start the show at 11:30 Eastern? Stay on for?
Oh, you mean ring?
Ring the New Year in. Should we ring the New Year in on the live stream? We wouldn't come on at 8 o'clock. We come on at 11:30 New York time, and then stay on till at least 1:15 our time. So New Year's for us in Central Time. We could do that. Let us know in the comments after the live stream, because otherwise I won't see it. All right, folks. As always, my parents had COVID. It's still out there. Use your common sense. Be safe. Be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well.
Take good care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy, holy, dare I say it, sacred holiday season for everybody, no matter what your religion is.
There you go.
May God bless you. All right. Later, folks.